You think being nice will win her heart? That always being available, fixing her emotions, and putting her first will finally make her choose you? That's the trap, my friend. Women don't chase comfort. They chase direction. They crave a man with clarity, emotional control, and unshakable self-respect. And in this video, you'll discover the 6 powerful boundaries that not only protect your masculine energy, but trigger a magnetic pull in her subconscious. Don't just exist in her world. Become the gravity she orbits. But here's the catch. Miss even one of these, and you'll keep wondering why she's slowly pulling away. If this kind of content opens her eyes like it did for me years ago, help us reach more men who are still stuck in the same loop. Give this video a like, drop a comment to tell me you're here, and share it with that friend who really needs to hear this today. To stop being the one who gets used and forgotten, you must first understand the cost of always being available. Let's start right there. Let's begin with the curse of the nice guy. You ever feel like you're doing everything right, yet somehow everything feels wrong? You're texting her back fast, offering help before she even asks, dropping plans to be available, and still, something's off. You can sense it. She's pulling away. Her texts get colder. Her interest fades. And that confusion you feel? That's not random. It's the silent punishment for ignoring one of the most powerful forces in male-female dynamics: boundaries. This is the stuff nobody teaches us. Not your dad, not school, not even your favorite dating coach. But once you feel it click, everything starts to change. Let's be clear. This isn't about playing games. It's about presence. Women aren't turned off by strength. They're starving for it. What they're allergic to is a man with no frame, no mission, no self-respect. You want to please her? Start by pleasing yourself first. That's not selfish. That's Stoicism in action. It's knowing that your peace, your time, your direction, your silence, these aren't gifts you hand out like candy. They're earned. And the man who lives by this, he doesn't just attract her, he awakens something in her. Now picture this. A woman enters a room. Every man turns his head. Some smile, some flex, some stare. But then there's you, calm, grounded, saying nothing, doing nothing. And yet, she notices you first. Why? Because true attraction doesn't scream. It radiates. It's not loud, it's magnetic. That kind of presence? It starts with setting one invisible rule: I will no longer trade my power for attention. And that, my friend, is where her interest truly begins. If you've ever found yourself wondering why she ghosted after a perfect weekend, or why things go cold right when you think it's heating up, this is your moment of clarity. You've been giving too much of what costs you the most: your availability. Women don't want a man who has nothing going on. They want a man they have to earn. A man whose life is full, focused, and moving, with or without her. That's the scarcity mindset. That's masculine energy at work. And once you tap into it, you'll stop chasing and start choosing. Here's what to try. Just for 1 week, don't instantly reply to her texts. Don't cancel your gym session to pick up the phone. Don't explain yourself when you say no. Instead, protect your time like it's gold, because it is. The more self-trust you build by honoring your day, the more confidence you radiate without trying. You'll notice how fast her behavior changes. Not because you're manipulating, but because she feels you're finally respecting yourself. And if that sounds too simple to be true, I challenge you, just once, to hold your line and watch how fast the energy shifts. She may test it, she may push back, but underneath that, she's feeling something she hasn't felt in a while: polarity. That tension between your certainty and her curiosity. That space where she leans forward instead of pulling away. And guess what? That's where real desire is born. Not in comfort. In the intensity of contrast. We'll go deeper. Because what comes next flips everything you think you know about saying no, not as rejection, but as redefinition. Ready? Up next, the power of no. There's something deeply unsettling about saying no to a woman you're attracted to, especially when you've been conditioned to think that no equals rejection. But let's get one thing straight. When a man says yes to everything, he's not being generous. He's being forgettable. That yes man energy? It's the fastest way to become background noise. You don't need to be rude. you need to be clear. Because every time you say no with confidence, you send a message louder than 1,000 compliments. I know my worth. Think about it. How many times have you agreed to something you didn't want to do just to keep her happy? That party you didn't want to go to. That phone call that interrupted your flow. That night out when all you wanted was to rest. And afterward, did you feel closer to her or slightly more invisible? That quiet resentment you felt? That's your soul reminding you that self-respect isn't optional. It's survival. A man with no standard becomes a man with no gravity. Women aren't looking for a puppet. They're craving a partner. Someone who stands on his own, even when it's inconvenient. When you say, no, I won't be able to make it, and stop there. No backpedaling. No 5-paragraph explanations. You do something most men are terrified to do. You take up space. And that space becomes your authority. That's what makes her eyes widen. That's what makes her feel she's dealing with someone different. Let's ground this in real life. Next time she asks you to cancel something important for her, your workout, your focus time, your weekly commitment, say, I've got something planned. I'm not willing to move, but I'd love to catch up another time. Don't soften it. Don't apologize. Just hold your frame. The discomfort lasts 10 seconds. The attraction it builds lasts a whole lot longer. And here's the wild part. When you consistently hold your no with certainty, you teach her something powerful, not just about you, but about herself. You show her that she's not the center of your world, and that's exactly what makes her want to be part of it. That's feminine polarity in action. When she sees you have your own mission, she starts imagining herself in that world, not controlling it, but complementing it. Now, some men confuse this with being cold or distant. It's not. It's clarity. And when done with presence and groundedness, your no becomes a quiet storm she can't look away from. Want to know the most shocking part? The more you say no with grace, the more she'll chase your yes. And soon, you'll realize that the real key isn't knowing what to give. It's knowing what to withhold. But what if I told you that most men fail, not when they say yes, but when they say nothing at all? That silence, when it's supposed to be a stand, is where respect goes to die. Let's go there next. Now let's go with respect is earned in silence. You ever had someone cross a subtle line with you? A tone, a jab, an eye roll, and you just smiled and let it slide? You told yourself it wasn't worth it. You didn't want to make a scene. But inside, something shifted. A tension, a frustration, a crack in your own reflection. That's not peace. That's self-abandonment. And women, they feel it instantly. A man who won't defend his inner world can't possibly lead hers. Respect isn't loud. It's quiet. It's in the emotional control to stay calm and the certainty to say, I don't let people treat me like that. Now imagine this. You're on a date. Things are going well. She makes a sarcastic remark about your job, a joke that lands a little too sharp. Most guys, they'd laugh it off, hoping to seem chill. But you pause, look her in the eye, and calmly say, I don't entertain disrespect. No anger, no drama, just clarity. That one line does more for her attraction than hours of flattery. It flips the frame. Suddenly, she's not evaluating your value. She's reflecting on hers. This is what most men don't get. Letting things go doesn't make you noble. It makes you forgettable. And the sad truth? The more you allow, the more she tests. Not because she's cruel, but because feminine energy naturally seeks edges. It wants to feel the walls, the structure, the safety of a man who honors himself enough to call out what's off. When you stay silent where you should have spoken, you're not sparing her feelings. You're burning your own boundaries. Real-world example. Let's say you're with friends, and she throws a light insult your way. Something playful, but clearly off. Instead of retaliating or sulking, just say, that didn't feel good. Let's keep it playful, not personal. Boom. You just set a standard without losing your cool. That moment does two things. It protects your energy, and it builds trust. Because now she knows, if someone crosses a line, you'll hold it. And that, my friend, is rare. This isn't about calling out every single thing. It's about presence. It's about feeling when something crosses your emotional state and having the backbone to stand tall. The moment you stop tolerating the micro disrespects, the little digs, the passive comments, you stop bleeding your power. And ironically, that's when you become a true anchor in her life, not the reactive man, the immovable one, the one she doesn't just like, the one she respects. And here's the subtle irony. When a man respects himself enough to speak up, she doesn't push away. She softens. Her nervous system calms. She becomes more playful, more open, more feminine, because finally she feels the frame. And the man who can hold that frame, even under pressure, becomes unforgettable. And here, a quick pause. If this type of content is opening your eyes to things you used to overlook, go ahead and hit that like button now and subscribe to the channel, because this is just the beginning. What comes next? It's where most men fail every single time, and they don't even see it happening. Let's move into the calm that breaks the test. Every man gets tested, not with exams, but with moments. She says something provocative, playful, maybe even disrespectful, just to see what happens. It's not a conscious plan. It's instinct. Her feminine energy is scanning for certainty, for emotional control, for a man who doesn't flinch. Most guys, they react, they defend, they over-explain, they chase validation. But the ones who pass the test, they pause, breathe, smirk, and shift the energy without even raising their voice. That's the secret. She's not looking for perfection. She's feeling for presence. A man who knows who he is won't get rattled by sarcasm. He won't break character when challenged. He doesn't beg to be understood. He simply is. That stillness, that grounded silence, it holds more power than 1,000 declarations of love. Because what she's really feeling is this: if he doesn't panic when I push ... what else is he unshakable about? Let me paint this in action. She throws a little jab. You're not like most guys. You're more ... reserved. Most men would panic, try to overcompensate. But the man with self-trust smiles and says, you say that like it's a bad thing, then lets the silence sit. That shift flips the frame. Now she's leaning in, because your calmness created mystery. You didn't give her all your pages. You let her turn one, and now she's curious what's next. Here's a challenge. The next time she pokes you, teases you, or tests you, say less, pause, tilt your head, give a relaxed smile, then either redirect or calmly respond with strength. Don't reward the test, redefine it. That's the authority she's subconsciously waiting for. Not dominance, direction. Because women don't chase men they can control. They chase men they can feel safe losing control around. Most guys try to pass the test by pleasing her emotions. But she doesn't want a mirror. She wants a mountain, something solid, something still. That's what makes her feel like she can finally relax into her feminine side. You're not another boy trying to win her. You're a man rooted in purpose, who leads with quiet confidence. And that's what makes her open like never before. What most men miss is this: the test isn't about her words. It's about your reaction. It's a mirror. She wants to see if your frame cracks, if your emotional state leaks, if your words betray your soul. And when you stay calm, you show her something deeper than charm. You show her depth, and that's the gateway to her surrender. But here's the twist. The strongest boundary isn't always a word. Sometimes it's something far more powerful ... And it starts with saying absolutely nothing. The authority of silence. There's a certain kind of man who walks into a room and doesn't need to say a word, yet everyone feels him. That's not charisma. That's certainty. And here's the paradox most men never learn. The more you try to explain yourself, the less power you have. The more you talk just to ease tension, the more you bleed your frame. Silence, when used right, is more than absence of sound. It's a declaration of authority. A man who knows his truth doesn't need to sell it. Most men overcommunicate because deep down, they're afraid. Afraid to be misunderstood. Afraid to upset her. Afraid she'll walk away. So they soften everything. Sorry, I just meant ... double quotes. I hope that's okay. ... double quotes. Maybe we could reschedule if you want. These aren't just words. They're micro apologies for existing. And she feels it. That energy of validation seeking is heavy. It kills the polarity. And eventually, it kills the attraction. Let's flip it. Imagine she asks, "Why can't you come tonight?" Most men panic and explain, "Long workday, sore muscles, early morning." But the grounded man says, "Tonight doesn't work for me. Let's aim for Friday, period. No over-talking, no backstory, no guilt." That brevity, that clarity, it forces her to feel something rare. This man doesn't need to be liked. He just is. That kind of self-respect leaves a lasting echo. Try this. Next time you say no, don't explain, don't justify, don't apologize. Just own it. Let your presence be the punctuation. The discomfort you feel will last a moment, but the impact it creates, that lingers in her nervous system. It's not about being cold. It's about being magnetic. The less you say, the more weight your words carry when you do speak. That's the essence of mature masculine communication. What you'll notice is stunning. She starts listening more. She asks more. She leans in. Not because you forced anything, but because your silence invited her in. You're no longer trying to be understood. You're letting her discover you, piece by piece. And the beauty of that? It creates mystery. And mystery, when rooted in truth, is the ultimate draw. But silence isn't just powerful, it's protective. Because when used with intention, it sets the tone. It tells her, "I'm not here to be molded. I'm here to be met." And the next time you hold that pause, that grounded, intentional pause, remember this: your silence is not empty. It's energy. And in that energy, she feels your standard. What happens when a woman steps into the life of a man who doesn't move for her, but invites her to move with him? That right there is the shift we're diving into next. Final chapter. The mission comes first. This is where most men get it backwards. They meet someone amazing, feel the spark, and suddenly, their mission takes a back seat. Gym? Skipped? Business plans? Delayed? Time with brothers? Gone. At first, she might be flattered. "He's so into me," she thinks. But soon, that admiration turns into quiet disappointment. Why? Because deep down, she doesn't want to be your purpose. She wants to feel safe inside a man who's already chasing one. A man who orbits her becomes predictable. A man who moves with purpose becomes undeniable. That's the secret. She doesn't fall in love with how much you adjust your life for her. She falls for the certainty you radiate when you refuse to adjust what truly matters. And when she realizes you'd still wake up early, still chase your vision, still train, build, create with or without her, that's when her desire multiplies. Because attraction lives in admiration. You don't need to neglect her to lead. You just need to make sure she's walking beside a man who's already going somewhere. Ask yourself right now, if she left your life tomorrow, would your direction change? If the answer is yes, you're building your identity on sand. Your anchor can't be her mood. Your direction must come from within. That's the masculine gift, to move from truth, not reaction. To hold your own frame, even when the world tempts you to abandon it. Want a practice that instantly reveals your self-trust? Every Sunday night, write down your 3 non-negotiables for the week. Gym, deep work, reading, whatever fuels your growth. Then protect those like your life depends on it, because in many ways, it does. When she sees you saying no to her for the sake of your mission, she doesn't resent you. She relaxes. Because finally, she knows she's not dating a boy desperate to please. She's walking beside a man built for more. And this is where the emotional polarity reaches its peak. When your energy is rooted in legacy, not lust, you stop needing her to complete you. She feels it. That subtle shift where you stop chasing her validation and start inviting her into something bigger than both of you. That's where she stops testing your boundaries and starts trusting them. Because a man who places his mission first isn't selfish. He's rare. And in a world full of men who bend at the first sign of affection, she'll remember you as the one she couldn't shake, the one who made her want to rise. So now the real question is this: are you going to keep being the guy who overgives, overexplains, and hopes for approval? Or are you finally ready to become the man who commands respect, leads with presence, and draws feminine energy in through certainty, not sacrifice? Every boundary you set is a reflection of the man you're becoming, not just in love, but in life. So what are you choosing to tolerate? What are you choosing to protect? Your time, your focus, your mission, or someone else's temporary comfort? Drop a comment right now and let me know which of these 6 boundaries hit you the hardest. Which one are you going to implement today, even if it feels uncomfortable? Start by commenting one simple phrase below. The mission comes first. Write it down. Own it. Let it be your shift from passive to powerful. And hey, if you made it this far, I want to say thank you. Truly, your time is valuable. The fact that you gave your attention to this tells me one thing. You're ready to lead. And that makes you rare. If you believe this message can help another man reclaim his strength, don't keep it to yourself. Share this video. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications because we're just getting started.